When you break the script, they want to shut you up. It is not the first time it has happened to me, and it will surely not be the last. In the last few weeks, my content has been reported, pressured. Exactly the opposite. Break the script that many tech tubers already have well rehearsed. The script is simple and cost-effective. The apocalyptic title, a panicked face in the miniature, and titles like "The Crisis is Going to Destroy Everything." And magically, there are even some who put an affiliate link with the solution. It's fear. More clicks, more commission. And when someone comes along and proves with data that this story is incomplete, manipulated, or directly false, then the problem is no longer the algorithm. The problem is you. One of the clearest cases is that of Gamerbits, a Spanish tech tuber, which explicitly asked the YouTube platform to take down my content because my analyses show something that many do not want to be said out loud. That much of the current discourse on the RAM crisis is not as it says it. They do not seek to inform. They seek to direct purchases, create panic, and only generate clickbaits. I'm not saying that the crisis doesn't exist. I'm saying that they're telling it wrong on purpose. And now, let me take you by the hand, slowly, without screaming, without hysterical thumbnails, so that you understand what is really happening and why the tale of cheap Chinese RAM. Today, it is a useful fantasy, which only serves to sell you something. So, let's get started. For years, RAM was invisible. It was like that boring component that no one boasted. It's like salt. There was always cheap. No one asked where it came from or how much it cost to make it. You bought 8, 16, 32 gigabytes, and you went on with your life. Nobody made videos about RAM because it didn't generate morbidity until it stopped being cheap. Not because he disappeared physically, but because he was no longer economically available to everyone. Suddenly, what was once the norm became luxury. And what was luxury became a cruel joke. And right there, the screams on YouTube began. It's a bubble, they tell you. Don't worry, this will go down in a few months. It's like NFTs. It's pure panic. And here comes the first inconvenient truth. RAM is not a bubble. A bubble is something dispensable. Let me explain. It's like that which is inflated by fashion. Something you can let die without the system collapsing. RAM is not that. RAM is an infrastructure. It is a foundation. It's like cement in a city or transformer in a neighborhood. It does not deflate. It is simply rationed. The RAM memory did not go up because someone went crazy. It went up because the world changed priorities. And for the record, I am telling you right now, the world, using obviously quite hackneyed phrases. This is where they put the second elegant lie. It's all the fault of artificial intelligence. And again, half-truth. Artificial intelligence does consume grotesque amounts of memory. Entire data centers, servers full of modules, machines that need RAM, like a body needs blood. But the problem is not that artificial intelligence consumes RAM. The problem is that now artificial intelligence pays better, pays earlier, and pays without asking. And when a market is controlled by very few manufacturers, the one who needs it doesn't win. The one who signs the largest contract wins. Memory did not disappear. Memory was simply reserved. It's not that there isn't RAM on the planet. It's that there is no RAM. At the time and at the price you were used to, there are two invisible queues. One for governments, corporations, data centers and artificial intelligence, and one for the common user. And when materials, time, and capacity are finite, the long line is going to have to wait. And this is where the beautiful story that many like so much comes in. China is going to save us. China is already making cheap RAM. And again, the truth, quite mutilated. Yes, China manufactures memory. And yes, there are new companies. And yes, they are making progress. But manufacturing isn't the same as flooding the global market with cheap modules ready for your PC. To manufacture memory, you need rare earths, silicon, ultra-pure, specific chemicals, industrial gases, processes that take years to scale, and materials that do not appear because a tech tuber says so in a video. And here's the elephant in the room, which almost no one wants to touch. The planet is entering a real shortage of certain critical materials. Not because they ended all at once, but because they are concentrated, restricted, prioritized, and geopolitically controlled. There aren't enough rare earths. There's not enough refined capacity. There's not enough lines ready to produce cheap RAM for everyone and at the same time. This is not China that does not want to sell. That is, there is not enough material to sell cheap to everyone. That's why today you can't just buy cheap Chinese RAM. Not because it doesn't exist, not because no one wants to sell it to you, but because the one that is manufactured already has an owner. The one that is left over is not validated. The one that is compatible does not reach retail. And the one you see in links, in miracle links, is usually stock. Corporate pools or marketing disguised as solutions. And in the meantime, the most stupid and most real paradox of this crisis occurs. Many times it is cheaper to buy a built-in PC than to assemble it yourself. Not because companies are good people, but because they bought before. Bought in volume, signed contracts, and got advice from people like Drak, Spartan. That's right. I have been giving courses to these mega corporations that today assemble equipment here in Mexico and part of Latin America, and they were just asking for advice that I gave them, and I told them, hoard RAM and SSDs because the crisis is coming to you. And so they did, and now they absorb losses that you can't absorb by buying one piece by piece and at the highest price of the cycle. I'm sorry. I remember that I told them yes, that they should do it, and I told them, and I repeat them again today. What's more, it gives me an exciting pleasure, and I practically ejaculate when I tell them I told them. But hey, one is not always a prophet in one's own land. And before you put your PC together, I remember it was freedom. Today it is often to pay for the crisis head on. And then you understand why this type of content is annoying. And right now, many are being scorched. In fact, by my words. Why? Because I told him so. Because I didn't yell at you. I didn't scare you. I didn't push you to buy. I explained to you that this is not fixed in 6 months. That it is not a nice bubble. That there is no miraculous RAM waiting for your click. And that the market is reorganizing itself around artificial intelligence, which is neither smoke nor a bubble. When you understand that, fear stops working. And when the fear stops working, the business of the red thumbnail and the affiliate link falls. They push us to be silent. Not because it is false, but because it is uncomfortable. My name is Drak, and I didn't come to sell you panic. I came to tell you how the system really works. Even if that doesn't give likes, not commissions, and those who live off the script don't like it. The RAM crisis is not the end of the world, but it is the end of a very beautiful story. Until next time.